Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. All together, please. Om Jnana Timirandasya Ganandana Salakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stavidam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yukta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raganatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Prijana Saidam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha He Krishna Karana Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpade Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapcha Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhana Sudadevi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Patita Nam Bhavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. So thank you very much. Today's verse number 9 of chapter 15, correct? Yes. Entitled The Yoga of the Supreme Person. So, please repeat. Shrotram Chakshuhu Sparshanam Cha Rasanam Ranam Evacha Adistaya Manas Chayam Vishayan Upasevate Shrotram Chakshu Sparshanam Cha Rasanam Granam Evacha Adistaya Manaschaham Yam Vishayan Upasevate Shrotram Chakshuhu Sparshanam Cha Rasanam Granam Evacha Atistaya Manaschayam Vishayan Upasevate. Thank you very much. Please repeat word for word. Shrotram, ears. Chakshuhu, eyes. Sparshanam, touch. Cha, also. Rasanam, tongue. Granam, smelling power. Eva, also. Cha, and. Adistaya, being situated in. Manaha, mind. Cha, also. Ayam, he. Vishayan, sense objects. Upasevate, enjoys. Translation Srila Prabhupada. The living entity, thus taking another gross body, obtains a certain type of ear, eye, tongue, nose, and sense of touch, which are grouped about the mind. He thus enjoys a particular set of sense objects. Please repeat. The living entity, thus taking another gross body, obtains a certain type of ear, eye, tongue, nose, and sense of touch, which are grouped about the mind, and thus enjoys a particular set of sense objects. Purport Srila Prabhupada. In other words, if the living entity adulterates his consciousness with the qualities of cats and dogs, in his next life he gets a cat or a dog body and enjoys. Consciousness is originally pure, like water. But if we mix water with a certain color, it changes. Similarly, consciousness is pure, for the spirit soul is pure. But consciousness is changed according to association of the material qualities. Real consciousness is Krishna consciousness. When therefore one is situated in Krishna consciousness, he is in his pure life. But if his consciousness is adulterated by some type of material mentality, in the next life he gets a corresponding body. He does not necessarily get a human body again. He can get the body of a cat, dog, hog, demigod, or one of many other forms. There are 8,400,000 species. Mukam karochi vachalam bhangam laite garim yar kripa tamam vande Sri Guru dinatarinam srotram chakshuspashinam cha rasanam grahanam evacha adistaya manaschayam vishan upasevate. The living entity, thus taking another gross body, obtains a certain type of ear, eye, tongue, nose, and sense of touch, which are grouped about the mind, and thus he enjoys a particular set of sense objects. So this section, you see this, thus taking, this section starting from verse number 7, yes, to verse number 10, or we can include 11, describes the process of transmigration Krishna is telling. Then Krishna talks about his own position. So at the beginning of the chapter, Krishna has explained the material world as a huge banyan tree. And we're going from one branch to another, one body to another, and so on and so forth. And the root of this banyan tree is Brahmaloka, because he is the creator. But even more deeper, the root is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. So when we're in this material world trying to enjoy and control and enjoy, that is the general impulse of the materially conditioned. They want to control the material energy, which quite rightly they see as inferior, right? This table is not conscious, but I'm a conscious being. So it is quite right that I should think this table is under my control. And then I can enjoy it or use it how I see. So that is called the conditioned life. And then the living entity becomes under the laws of karma. You're all experienced devotees. Laws of karma, he has a duty according to his birth. That's his karma in a real technical sense. Vikarma means to perform activities against your natural duty. Then there is akarma. That means to not perform your duty. For example, if you have children and you don't support them or teach them, that is giving up your duty. Then there is ugra karma, and that is ugly or ugra, very ugly sinful activity that is grossly sinful. And then there is nice karma. Nice karma means that you are not going to get a material reaction. So that is pure bhakti. Janma Karma Anavritam. The pure bhakta, he doesn't want any material results, gross or subtle. So that is a very wonderful position. And he performs Krishna Anushilanam. He performs activities that are favorable to the Supreme Lord. This he learns at the lotus feet of a great spiritual teacher from Guru, Sadhu and Shastra. He gets all this information, he practices sadhana, and he dedicates all his activities as a yajna to the Supreme Lord. But the materialist, he looks at the material energy as something for him to enjoy. So he comes under these laws of karma. Karma means work. Guna karma vibhagasha. According to the previous modes, you have a tendency to a certain kind of work in this lifetime. Prabhupada points that out in the purport, that puts it quite graphically. If you act like a dog, you will get a dog's body. If you act like a cat, you'll get a cat. If you eat like a pig, you'll get a pig. If you act like a deva, very kind, very generous, but not necessarily pure bhakti, you can go to Swagaloka. If you act very nicely, but you're atheistic, we discussed last week, right? You can go to another part of the banyan tree, and you can go to the subterranean heavenly planets, where it is said there that there's more enjoyment there than there is in the Swargaloka. In the Swargaloka, there is kirtan and so on and so forth, and there's a sense of godliness. But in the subterranean heavenly planets, material enjoyment is not restrained in that way. One can enjoy unlimitedly. So that is there, right? Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Tala, Tala, Mahatala, Rasatala, Patala. And below that there is Narak. So this is the banyan tree of the material world. We're jumping from one branch of the banyan tree. It's rooted in Brahmaloka. Lord Brahma has created it. But the root of Lord Brahma is Krishna, as we all know from Brahma Samhita. So this is unfortunate. And these species, Prabhupada finishes at the end of that sloka, purport, he says there's 8,400,000 species of life. And Prabhupada explains also other places, there are 400,000 types of humanoid we can call it, modern word, human-shaped bodies. For example, in the lower planetary systems, heavenly planets, or in the upper planetary systems, they have a humanoid form, but they don't have an exactly the same as us. We have this middle section here is of the banyan tree, Bhuloka, is the most gross part of the universe. That is something to think about. In the heavenly planets, they have more subtle bodies. In the lower planetary systems, heavenly planets, they have more subtle bodies. They live longer, they can feel pleasure. We feel pleasure within our consciousness, within our mind, right? But it's filtered through this gross body. But if you have a subtle body, and you're in Swagaloka, there is less filter from the body. Just like here is a spirit soul. It's a part and parcel from the ocean. It is non-different from the ocean. So the spirit soul is, here it is, it's part and parcel. Here it's part and parcel because of the body. But the spirit soul is part and parcel, mama angsa jiva loke, by the design of the Supreme Lord. Now we should understand that It's discussed in Chaitanya Charitamrita that the Supreme Lord has 4 potencies by which he creates 8,400,000 species, all the different planetary systems. They are one, the Ichcha Shakti. Ichcha Shakti means desire, choice. I think in Hindi they have a word, Ichcha, Kya Ichcha Bhai Sab. What is your desire? What is your desire? So everything, we are desiring entities also. We are part and parcel of Krishna. We have come out of the ocean of Krishna's consciousness, but the ocean is decreased. If you take this water from the ocean becomes a little bit smaller, right? But Krishna creates all these living entities out of the ocean of his consciousness, but he never becomes lesser. You know that sloka? Om Purnamada Purnamidam. That Krishna creates many, many things, but he's not decreased. If I give you all 100 rupees, or let's say 10 rupees from my pocket is less. But Krishna can give 100 rupees to everyone, and he still has the same amount of money in his pocket. So he doesn't need a bank. He can create unlimitedly without depletion, because he is Ananta, he is without limitation. So this spirit soul is part and parcel, Mama Angsa Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana, but is come out of the ocean. Now, if this is back in the ocean, it absorbs the energy of the ocean, correctly? Right? He feels the vibration of the ocean, the energy, the temperature, the tides of the ocean. So that is the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. The part and parcel is in the ocean. Krishna has created him through his Ichcha Shakti, Ichcha, and then Jnana Shakti is number 2. Jnana Shakti means he knows how to do anything. He can desire anything, but he knows how to do anything. So his intelligence is unlimited. So he can create the living entity eternally, Mama Angsa Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. And then what is coming next? After he has Gyan, then Bala. He has the power. That is the Bala Shakti. He can desire, then he knows how to do everything that he desires, and then he has the power to do it, Krishna. And then the 4th one is Kriya Shakti. He is able to do that. Ichcha, desire, knowledge, power to do anything, and then he carries it out, Kriya Shakti. This is in the Vedic literatures. It's summarized in the beginning of the Chaitanya Charitamrita. So the living entity has emanated from the ocean of Krishna's consciousness. It's explained in the Brahma Samhita, the living entities emanate from Shakti. They emanate from Srimati Radharani. Their origin is Krishna. So they emanate from the Shakti of Krishna. So therefore they are Jiva Shakti. So Krishna is Purusha. He is the supreme enjoyer. And Shakti is that which he enjoys. He enjoys all these powers. He creates everything. And at the beginning of the Adi Leela, Chaitanya Charitamrita, it explains that he is non-different from his Shakti. He is non-different from his Shakti. Radha and Krishna are one, but to enjoy the bliss of pastimes, they have separated themselves eternally. So, how to understand that? One may be a great musician, But that doesn't mean to say he just sits in a corner. He wants to use his musical ability, right? He wants to express his ability. So Krishna is Atmaram, but to express his ability, to express his talents, his creative power, he creates everything. And he creates basically three things. The Chit Shakti. Chit Shakti means conscious energy. Now just think, the spiritual world is made from the consciousness of Krishna. That is an amazing thing to think. That in the spiritual world, Haridam, where Narayan and Lakshmi are, and Golokadam, where Radha Krishna are, and also there is another section where the Mahaprabhu, Nityananda, there is also another loka that's explained in the purports of Brahma Samhita. So that is within the consciousness of Krishna. Now just think that. That is an amazing thing. We have so many thoughts within our mind, but everything, all living entities, Jiva Shakti, they are within the consciousness of Krishna. So that is the Chit Shakti. Then there is the Jiva Shakti, and then there is the Achit Shakti, the unconscious energy, this material energy. And this is an emanation from the Pradhan, the glance of Mahavishnu, which contains the Kala Shakti, that creates the Mahatattva, and from the Mahatattva, the three modes create all the varieties of the material energy. And then the Jiva enters into this from the Tata Reka, the line between the Chit Shakti and the Achit Shakti is the causal ocean. That is the causal ocean. That is the margin. That is the Tata Reka. So the Jiva emanates from Krishna in three positions, through Lakshmi and through Radharani and through Mahavishnu. The Jivas that emanate in Goloka, they naturally blossom into Krishna's devotees. The Jivas that emanate in Haridam, they blossom into the devotees of Lakshmi Narayan. But then, at the Tata Reka, within the causal ocean, the living entities emanate from Mahavishnu, and in this margin between matter and spirit, Achit and Chit, they are positioned as Tatastha Shakti Jiva. And from that position, they can look the material energy and they can look the spiritual energy. And as they awaken from Susupti, they choose. I want to control and enjoy the inferior energy, or I want to be controlled and enjoy and serve the Supreme Lord. I'll read you the 11th verse here in the Brahma Samhita, just for your enunciation. The Lord of the mundane world, Mahavishnu, possesses thousands and thousands of heads, eyes, hands. So that is mentioned. The source, he is the source of thousands of avatars in his thousands of subjective portions. So all the avatars that appear in the material energy, they are coming from Mahavishnu. Generally, Krishna does come directly from Goloka, and Krishna does come directly as Lord Chaitanya from Goloka occasionally. Within that, that's another subject, but then Mahavishnu, Sahasrashu, he is the creator of thousands and thousands of individual souls. So Mahavishnu emanates jivas, So somebody may say, Aham Sarvasya Prabhavo, everything comes from Krishna. Ma Vishnu is Krishna. It is another form of Krishna. He's non-different from Krishna. So at the Tata Reka, there's many purports here where it's given. The Jiva, who is an emanation from Krishna, decides, I want to control and enjoy the matter, or I want to serve Krishna. Each Jiva is an individual. He may have his own different coloration of choice, but he chooses basically Maya Shakti or Chit Shakti. He either chooses Achit Shakti, and then he becomes entangled. What happens if he goes into the Achit Shakti? He gets a material body. He's no longer in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. He's in a material body. He is a spirit soul, but he's inside a material body. And there are 8,400,000 species, right? That's described in the Bhagavatam. 8,400,000 species. Now, when this material body becomes no good, what happens? You're all devotees. He comes out of this material body, and then he goes into another one. And this may not be a human body. He may have been a man here. He may be female here. And then he comes out of this body, and he goes into another material body. And this is the cycle of birth and death. And when he goes into this material body, he's conditioned. Just like in today's verse. He gets a certain set of ears, eyes, touch, taste, smell from his material body, and he has to see the material energy through this body. And he tries to control and enjoy through this body. He tries to control and enjoy as a dog in the street, right? They mark their territory. As a monkey on the top of the hill. As a human being, as a man, as a woman, as whatever. He tries to control and enjoy and get some satisfaction from his material body. And he goes from one birth to the next. So how to get out? How to get out? That is the problem. Because he's eternal. He's trying to control and enjoy, but what happens? He becomes controlled and enjoyed. He becomes controlled by time. Right? We've just seen the what's it called? Virat Rupa. There's another form of the banyan tree. Krishna showed Arjuna, my God, everyone is dying and being mashed in the Virat Rupa. It's terrible. It's not a beautiful thing when you see everything in the material world. It's hellish. Arjuna was fearful. So he goes into this condition, trying to control and enjoy, but he becomes controlled by time, by space. He's in one place, not another place. In the spiritual world, time, eternal time, and eternal space is servant of the Leela. Here we're controlled. In Krishna Loka, everybody can sit next to Krishna. That is Yoga Maya. There's always enough room for the Ras Leela on the bank of the Jamuna. They never run out of material space. Sometimes people say, Krishna is unlimited. Well, what about the Jiva? He's small. Well, actually, there's no size in the spiritual world. Everything is the consciousness of Krishna. The defining characteristic of the spiritual world is Krishna's consciousness. And he can do anything. He can desire anything. He has the potency, the knowledge, the ability to do anything. So there is no limit when you're within the consciousness of Krishna. Now we're in the external body, like the material body. We have our mind, right? We have our mind, and then we have our external body. Our external body is there, but our mind is controlling our consciousness, is the receptacle, as Prabhupada says, the receptacle of consciousness. And that is our intimate aspect, our mind. This is where we think, consider, decide. But the external body, anyone can see. So this material world is the external aspect of the Acharyas explain in this way. It is the Leela of Krishna. The material world, we've been explaining this for 2 classes. Everything is the Leela of Krishna. The Bhagavatam starts by saying Mahavishnu, glance is expanded in the Chatuvyuha, another Chatuvyuha. Then he creates Garbhadakshayi Vishnu, he creates Paramatma Shiradakshayi Vishnu. He enters into the banyan tree. He controls the law of space, time and karma. This is his Leela. Now, Acharyas have explained, and I'm talking Bhakti Vinod, I read just a few weeks ago. He says, if you want to become Nishta, right? We know that you are all experienced. There is Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya, then there is Anatha Nirvritti, and then there is Nishta. So that is the Vaishnava starting point. If you want to become Nishta, fixed in Krishna consciousness, that from the neophyte position, overcome your anathas, you should see, Bhakti Vinod is very clear, this is in his Tattva Sutras. You should see that you are already in the Leela of Krishna. This is the material world, yes, so called, but it is Krishna's Leela. We are part of this Leela. So by concentrating our consciousness, we can transfer, we can become liberated from the material body eternally. And that's what the Bhagavatam says. Muktir hitavang yata rupam swarupena abhavishtati. What is mukti? You want liberation? Mukti doesn't mean going into the Brahman. It means swarupena abhavishtati. To manifest, grow your spiritual body from the soul. And Prabhupada and all Acharyas, from Prabhupada, Bhakti Siddhanta, Bhakti Vinod, they all explain, this is super important to remember, that the soul is equipped with a swarup. Now there are apasiddhantas, and they say the soul is just a spark of consciousness, it's Maya, and by meditation he will develop this swarup, or he will develop this swarup. So you must go to a guru with this Dikshapatra, and you must get this silly pranali, and he will give you swarup. No. The soul, same verse, Om Purnam Madha Purnamidam Purnat Purnat Udashite Purnasya Purnam Madaya Purnam Eva Vasishtate. This is very important. That the Supreme Lord is perfect and complete. And therefore all emanations, such as the spirit soul, are perfect and complete, and completely equipped as complete souls. Just like if I have 3 seeds, one is a banyan tree, but it's a seed. it will grow into a banyan. It is constitutionally a banyan tree. I have another seed, and it is an apple seed, and it will grow into an apple tree. I have another seed, and it is a tulsi seed. It will grow into a tulsi seed. So every spirit soul has a constitutional form. That's why it's called Swarup, your own form. Swarupena avastati. Mukti means to be situated in this eternal form that grows from the soul. Now, so don't be distracted if you hear different Babajis. Oh, don't read Bhagavad-Gita because you may develop a Swarup on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. This is nonsense. You have your Swarup. It is constitutional. It is part, just like Nitya Siddha Krishna Prem, Sadakabanai, Shravanari Sudachitte, Karide Uday. That constitutionally we have Krishna Prem. Constitutionally, the expression of our Prem is our individual constitutional nature. Now this is vitally important because Prabhupada, when everyone came here in the 70s, he didn't like people going to other Babajis because many Babajis will tell you, oh, no. The soul is a spark of consciousness, Mayavadi influence, and according to your meditation, you will develop a Swarup. If you meditate in this way, you will get this Swarup. If you meditate in this way, you'll get this way. If you meditate on Lalita Shakti, you can enter the body of Lalita Shakti. This is Mayavadi philosophy. Pure Vaishnavism means you have Swarup, you have Swarup, you have Swarup, you have Swarup. It is part and parcel. It is constitutional. Just like water is constitutionally itself. So every soul is perfect and complete. And how do we develop that? Well, just like I said, a nishta. What comes after anartha nirviti, the anathas are going down, then there is nishta. One becomes fixed. And then what's next after nishta? Tata? Ruchi. So that means Nam Ruchi, but it also means Shravanam Ruchi. I like to hear. I like to discuss Krishna. I like to serve Krishna. Now, the lower section of Ruchi means, yes, I'm enjoying the name. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. I'm enjoying serving. I'm enjoying. But then the higher section of Ruchi is when you think, wow, I'm giving pleasure to Krishna. I'm giving ruchi to Krishna by my chanting, by my attending class, by my doing Guru Seva. That is Seva Bhav. And then comes a Shakti. And then comes Bhava. Now at the stage of Bhava, we realize Krishna. Krishna is ecstatic. He's not sitting in the corner static. He is ecstatic, creating everything. Everything is Krishna's Leela. We realize Krishna, and then what happens? We realize and we awaken our constitutional nature. That's where another Apasampradayas, they meditate, oh, I'll dress like a gopi and I'll become a gopi. No. First realize Krishna, then you will realize your relationship. How can you realize your relationship if you don't know Krishna? Krishna is realized at Bhava Bhakti, ecstatic emotion. Krishna is that Atmarama, but he is ecstatic. He's creating. So the devotee enters into that ecstatic union by Seva Bhav. In the Chit Shakti, everyone has the attitude of seva. In the material world, everyone is self-seva, selfish servant of the senses. In the spiritual world, everyone is unselfish servant of the Supreme Lord and his devotees. So then, a Shakti, Bhava, and then Prem. So at the stage of Bhava, when one's actual Swarup is awakening, Jivera Swarupoya Nityera Krishna Das. Very good. We are eternally, constitutionally the servant of Krishna. We have everything. We have Swarup. We have the Maha Mantra. We have Prabhupada's Gita. We have Prabhupada's Srimad Bhagavatam. We have Prabhupada's Sadhu Sangha. We have so much. We have to use it by lolam. We have to think, yes, I will go through these stages. At Bhava Bhakti, that's when Raganuga Bhakti can be performed fruitfully. When one's relationship is waking up, then one will realize a basic attraction in one of the Stahi Bhavs, Madhurya Bhav, Vatsalya Bhav, Sakya Bhav, Dasya Bhav, so on and so forth. And then Raganuga Bhakti means that then, I feel attraction in Vatsalya Bhav. One can discuss with one's spiritual teacher. Then I will read those leelas of how Mother Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj relate to Krishna. And that will develop my constitutional nature. But if that is performed before Anartha Nivritti, this is wrong. You have to perform practices according to your development. At the beginning, you're practicing rag, attraction to Krishna. He's Bhuktaram Yogya Tapasam. He is Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. He is Suridam Sarvabhutanam. He is the Supreme Lord. You have rag. But that people think that I can practice Raganuga Bhakti when I'm still a neophyte. And then they get many misconceptions and so on and so forth. And they think by my meditation I will burst into Goloka. No. What does Krishna say? Manmana bhavamad bhakto majjaji mam namaskaro. We must approach Krishna very sweetly and humbly. Now, does Krishna need us to pay obeisances to him? No. He loves us anyway. But why does he say that to him? I'm telling you, Arjuna, because you're my devotee. Why Arjuna mam namaskaru? He's telling Arjuna a great secret. If you approach me very humbly with lolam, with lobta, then that will touch my heart. So this is a secret, right? He's telling a secret thing. If you want to make progress in your bhakti, amanina mananena, approach with humility, offer my devotees respect and service, offer me obeisances. He's not doing it like somebody in this material world. Respect me. I'm the big man. I'm Ravana. I want respect. No. He's telling a secret to his devotees. That if you want to get my mercy, it's there for everyone. I'm maintaining everyone. But if you want to get special mercy from me, mam namaskaru. Approach with humility, and that will touch my heart. That will touch my heart, and I'll take you back to Godhead. That's what he says, pratijani priyo. Follow those four things. Put your consciousness on me. Manmana, in a devotional way. Do everything as an offering to me, seva bhav, and offer me respects, and offer my devotee respects, and I'll take you back to Godhead. And then you'll be back in the ocean of nectar. You'll be back in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Sindhu means ocean, right? The ocean of bhakti. And your devotion will be such that you will relate to Krishna eternally. And Krishna will relate to you eternally. Just like in the Ras Leela, we saw the Purnim. Krishna dances with every spirit soul within his consciousness. That is the Chit Shakti. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So, any question?
Yes. If we already have a Swarup, why would
Swarup.
Yes.
Swa means own form and personality. We're in Susupti. Our form is not fully manifest. Just like the seed. The banyan tree is not manifest from the seed yet. The apple tree is not manifest yet from the seed. So the spirit soul, when he's developed Swarup and his relationship to Krishna, that cannot be put back in the box. You understand? What is that verse? Nahabrakama nashosti pratya vidyo svalpam pulyam. You're a sadhu, you know all this. In this endeavor, there's no loss or diminution. Yeah. So you develop your soul, it never... Prabhupada says this, if you make 50%, he gives this example, then you never lose 50% Krishna consciousness. Next step will be 51, right? You never lose. Even if you take another birth, you keep the Krishna consciousness. So we have Swarup. It's inbuilt. It's constitutional. And this is the example. You can look 26 or 29 or 24 of April, Rupanuga, 1969. You look at it as a letter to Rupanuga, and he uses this exact example that I'm using. That the soul is like a seed, and when through the process of bhakti, the Swarup blossoms. And how does it blossom? Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Padasevanam. You see? So we are overcome by Maya because we've not developed, we've not completely grown as a spirit soul. Our spirit soul is still in this susupta dormant state. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Not satisfactorily, though. Well, no, because the ultimate principle is that you are an eternal being. Now Krishna has created you to live eternally with him. You understand? You can become an eternal associate of Krishna in unlimited bliss for eternality. Now Krishna, by his conscious desire, need not have created you, right? You could not exist. You could be the void. Of course, the void doesn't exist because nothing doesn't exist by definition. So we are eternally, and we are part of Krishna's Leela. And now this comes to another point, I'll do it very quickly, that the material world is not separate from the spiritual world from the point of view of Krishna. We think philosophically, this is the material world and this is spiritual world, right? But now in the material world, Acharyas, you can read Jaiva Dharma, he explains that the material world, there is no Kamsa in the spiritual world. That There is no Ravana in the spiritual world. Now, in Vatsalya Bhav, for example, Mother Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj, they feel very protective to Krishna. But that is not coming from the spiritual world. Ravana, Kamsa, Jalasandha are not in the spiritual world. They're in the material world. So, the fearfulness of Vasudeva and Devaki and the Nanda and Yashoda fighting the asuras that come sent by Kamsa, that supports the bhavas in the spiritual world. Do you see the point? Krishna's Leela is two things. Nitya Leela, constantly active. And then there's Naimitika Leela in the material energy. The material energy is manifest and then unmanifest. Manifest and unmanifest. So the Naimitika Leela is manifest in the material world. And the bhavas created there by the Leela, they enter Goloka because there's no restriction in the spiritual world, on the spiritual platform. So they enhance the Leela of, you can say, of the spiritual world. And why has Krishna done that? You can ask him when you realize him. You can say, why did you do that? Why have you done it this way? That is his sweet will, Ichcha Shakti. But you might say, yes, we're going through life and this and that, but everyone has a mood of enjoyment. If you want to enjoy in the material world, you can enjoy very nicely. If you follow the Vedic prescriptions, you can go to Swagaloka. This material world, this is the gross body, this is the worst kind of body for enjoyment possible. Especially Kali Yuga. It's a terrible, heavy, bony, dense body. This body is the best, though, for self-realization, because the Krishna comes here. So a devotee thinks, whatever's in the past, whatever thing, that's good, because it's brought me here now to Krishna's lotus feet, to Srila Prabhupada, to Srila Bhakti Siddhanta, Srila Bhakti Vinod, to Sad Goswami, to Lord Chaitanya. And the fact is that if we chant Hare Krishna and we overcome anarthas, we will get eternal life. And once that is attained, you'll never think for a moment that the material world is like a blip. And the material world has two functions. Bhakti Vinod is very clear. It fulfills the material desires for sensuality. And it also destroys the desire for material life at the same time. Therefore, in chapter 84, Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said, if you want to overcome attachment to grihastha life, get married. It says there. It's there, it's not me, it's there in the Shastra, I remember reading it. And it says, if you want to overcome attachment to Svargaloka, then think of the action of the Kala Shakti. Understand it's all temporary. So the material energy, in one hand, it's saying, okay. But on the other hand, it's saying, don't enjoy. Just for example, you're in a dark place. There's a fire. You're camping with your friends. So you may think, I'll leave the campfire and I'll wander off into the forest. But you leave the campfire, it gets cold. It gets dark. And the further away you go from the campfire, you think, I'm going back to the campfire. So the material world is constructed in that way. The further we go away from Krishna in consciousness, the more eventually we will turn back to Krishna. Now, that arrangement discussed by the sages, you may say, no, but that's mercy, ultimately. Because our eternal nature is guaranteed. We're eternal beings. And we are suffering in accordance with our karma. So be very careful about your karma. Be very careful about your aparad. Because that is like going into darkness. Be careful that you stay near the fire of Krishna consciousness. Stay with the sadhus. Read Bhagavatam. Chant Hare Krishna. Develop Nam Ruchi. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So, we'll finish at this point unless there's a quick question. Everybody knows everything now about the Bani. Go on, Mataji. I'll answer quickly. Yeah. Well, I use the example of a fire. You know, you're camping in the night and you're near the fire. Oh, you're enjoying looking at the fire. It's kind of entrancing look at the fire. But then if you go, you leave your friends and you go into the darkness, you hear animals. You feel cold. You're leaving the forest. You're leaving the fire. Do you understand? It's getting dark. You're tripping up over wood on the floor. So you think, oh, I'd better go back to the fire.
Mentioned that in the spiritual world, there is Yashoda and Damana. In the material world, there is Kansa. So, how are they then preserved? So then how come they're not together? Because
they're not. Kamsa's
fear that they are feeling for Krishna. They are in the spiritual world, whereas this person is in the material world.
Well, it's rasa. It spreads through the creation. You understand? But it's created within the Bhoma Leela. Do you understand? Because there's no Kamsa, there's no Ravana in the spiritual. But there is a feeling, Ravana is there in the. I should look after Krishna. So that evokes the rasa. Even in Goloka. Do you understand? This is explained in Jaiva Dharma. There's a chapter, it's called Seeing Goloka in Gokul, meaning and Seeing Gokul in Goloka. There's a chapter there, Jaiva Dharma, and it explains this, that the rasas in the nymitical Leela, the occasional Leela, they're not restricted. They also enter the whole sphere of consciousness, you see. Just like Radharani is not married in the Goloka. You must have heard this, right? But she is married in the Gokul Leela. So this helps Parakiya Bhav. So many of the bhavas, they have their root in Gokula. This is a very subtle thing. But if you understand like that, just like in the spiritual world, the cowherd boys are just enjoying. But when they're in the Gokul Leela, then Kamsa is sending Kesi. He's sending Denakasura. And this is creating, so many acharyas say that the highest place of Krishna's Leela is actually Gokul. Because here, the fallen living entities that my friend doesn't like, the fallen living entities, they create the bhavas that permeate the whole creation. Do you understand? Because Radharani has got a husband that sleeps in the cowshed, right? In Gokul. And so the cowherd boys, they don't meet Denakasura in the spiritual world, but they're enjoying all these things. And they're talking about, did you hear about and they're enjoying rasa in this way. So this area that we are now in, Vrindavan Dham, this is the root place of all these different rasas that pervade the whole universe. This is something to contemplate. You understand that? You read the Acharya's description of these things and you will understand it more. That's what you'll do eternally, right? Krishna is realized eternally. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Well, it's part of Krishna's Leela. You understand? So now you understand. Everything is part of Krishna's Leela. But our problem is that some people are inside the material body, like today's sloka. We want to get out. We want to go back into the Rasamrita Sindhu. Am I right? Yes. And how do we do that? Manmana. Become a devotee. Put our consciousness on Krishna. And in Kali Yuga, a very powerful way of doing that is Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And then we won't complain about Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna.